Start with the pledge of allegiance. The pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome, everybody. One of our favorite meetings of the year. We're going to start off with recognition. So you want to get us started?
Yeah, so it's great to see so many faces in the audience this evening. At the end of each sports season, the New York State Public High School Athletic Association honors teams and individuals that excel both on the athletic field and in the classroom. These student athletes work very hard throughout the year and deserve to be recognized for their academic successes. So I'm very excited to announce our Millbrook Blazer Fall 2020 NYSPA Scholar Athlete teams and individual athletes. So we have 4 teams that qualified, with the team's average GPA being greater than or equal to 90%. So we do have some of the coaches here, not all of them, but if you would like to stand as a group, we also have certificates for those of you who have won the team or the individual award. So first we have the girls varsity volleyball team as a whole. So any volleyball athletes out there, stand.
There you go. Hey.
The girls cross country varsity team. The boys varsity cross country team as well. And our cross country coaches are here, Maureen Ackerman and Kelly Domino. So congratulations to the coaches as well. The girls varsity soccer team, Coach O and Coach McHugh are also here. So you can stand to be recognized as a team. And then now for the individual awards for those students who qualified individually for Scholar Athlete recognition. We have Brody Augusta. If Brody's here, we have a certificate for him. Did not see. We have Rylan Canistra. No, Rylan. Diego Flores. Javier Guerrero Monroy. Ellen Canido. Logan Cozera.
Did not know he was getting more. We would have brought him.
Okay, well, I can give you his certificate. We also have Mason Lavarnway. Braden Moriarty, I don't see either. So that is for the boys varsity soccer team. For the varsity football team, we have Jonah Amodio. Jonah. Preston Today. Johnny Jacob. Dexter Hernan. Robert Smith. Thomas Vanderwater. Lincoln Vanderwater. And that is the varsity boys football team. Those are the students who qualified as Scholar Athletes. So congratulations to those students. From the boys golf team, we also have Jonah Amodio, Kellen Caniddle, Lucas Rios, it's Robert Tompkins, I think.
Congratulations. Thank God you came.
And Jake Simadowski, I don't think I saw him. And we also have The varsity volleyball girls. This is for the team. Serena Bunga. Adriana Chaudhary. Sierra Gray. Lydia Kasak. Nina Lapine. Alexis LaRocca. Kamora O'Hara. Okay. Grecia Rios, Ariana Robeson, Lily Wilson, and Haley Zamborski are also varsity volleyball players who qualified. So congratulations to the varsity volleyball. Yeah. Lauren Chu. Adeline Francia. I'll watch them. Valentina Hurtado. Julianne Johnson. Grace Johnson. Magdalena Luca. And Evelyn Martinez Jimenez. And we do have an award for our coaches as well, if Ms. Domino or Ms. Sacramento would like to. For the boys varsity cross country, we have Nestor Gonzalez Lopez.
Yeah.
Maxim Ramos. Archer Ryan, who I did not. Diego Santiago Lopez. And Dylan Baxter. From the girls varsity soccer team, we have Haley Freer. Kim Lassen. Sophia Gonzalez. Caroline Fulton. Lily Cosera. Mary Ellen Meyer. Anna Rubo, and Brianna Salmon. And then we do have our two coaches here. So if one of them would like to come up and take the award for the varsity soccer team. So Dr. Watkins will take the student athletes in the back so we can just get a picture for them, but congratulations for this. This is a big achievement. This is probably the biggest group of scholar athletes that we've had in a very long time. So congratulations to all of you. Your hard work both on the field and also in the classroom does not go unnoticed. And we were really excited to be able to welcome such a large group of you here tonight to just give you this recognition that you very much deserve. So congratulations to all of you. Yeah. Sorry. No. We'll send them to
Thank you.
It's nice to see you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Next is on the agenda is to open a public hearing for, district level safety plan, 2025-26 school year. I don't need it.
You need a motion.
Do I have a motion to open it? So moved. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Any against?
So this is the addendum to the safety plan. You might remember that when we originally approved the safety plan back in the summer, there was an amendment to the law that required a cardiac emergency response plan be added. So nothing else has been changed. This just had to be posted publicly for 30 days for public comment. It was. And so with the board's approval this evening, this will then become a part of the district safety plan and will be resubmitted to New York State.
Any questions?
No public.
Okay. Any questions from the board?
So you'll see the opportunity for approval later in the meeting. So we can.
Okay, so we have nothing. So do I have a motion to close the public hearing? Of second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any against? Alright. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Anything, any questions on any of the items, anything you want pulled for later considerations? Everybody good? Okay. All in favor? Aye. Any against? All right. Good. Yeah, the president, vice president report, the only thing, have is to remind you our retreat is, at 6 to 7 on the 13th, I think
Yes.
it is. So we'll do that and then we'll go straight into the board meeting. And I think we're got a pretty focused agenda for that meeting. So it shouldn't be a problem getting it done in an hour, but it has a very narrow topic. Talk about it later. All right, Chris, you got anything?
No, just have a safe and happy holiday and New Year, everyone. Good half of the year so far. Let's make it a good one in 26.
Lifetime.
Yeah.
Okay, same old, you know, we go into the winter season now, winter sports have been starting up, winter track and girls and boys basketball. In addition to that, there's been a few field trips that have taken place. The art club participated in the Angels of Light field trip where they helped set up Christmas trees decorations. The DCC English class took a trip to New York City where they loved exploring literary world of famous poets and writers that they've been studying in class. Junior Interact went to the Habitat for Humanity where they helped decorate Christmas trees and auction, help organize them for the Habitat for Humanity store. The Winter Chorus and Band concert took place this past December on the 11th along the art show. And we just had our winter pep rally and we're getting ready to go into the new year.
Very good.
So
All right, thank you.
Quick question,
go ahead.
sorry. So in the last board meeting of the student report mentioned like, did we have like more administration presence or like more presence, as to, I don't know, specifically for events, like more communication, that's kind of like the feedback. I don't know how we would value that or if that's something, like Dr. Watkins would say, like, okay, how can we do that so that there is that connection in Northfield, or if there's something being done about that, or just that one point, but
Oh, no, yeah, of course, just like I reiterated from the last board meeting, that always be a huge help of just having that connection between the administration and the board, students. And continuing on, I think that is something that is very important to students and would like to move forward on that.
so my question is like, how do we make? If we have examples of, well, this is where we are, this is where our presence is, but it's not being felt on the end, or how that disconnect can be repaired.
Are you asking me to answer, or is this a question?
The administration side of it.
So I think, if I'm understanding right, it's that you want more of a connection. Like sit down and talk connection.
That in itself, just being there to actually see, because I think that a lot of the students, they don't know who administration is, like, and a lot of students don't know who the superintendent is, who the assistant superintendent is, and to really have that presence and have that support, not just verbally, but just to actually have a physical presence there will help the students tremendously.
Yeah, so we can go back to having a schedule of the administration on duty, like we used to. And I think we can, I mean, I had welcomed Kamora to come over and to discuss her reports before the meetings as well. So, I mean, there is availability for that. There are students who, believe it or not, who do come in our offices, and come talk to us. So, you know, I think we can do more of making formal opportunities with that. I know we've also, pushed Mr. Hamel to have like a captain's club this year and try to get that communication back and forth from the organized sports and whatnot. So we're working on those things.
Yeah, I think that would be great to maybe see if you see a difference from that, the community feedback overall, even like for non-athletes, like those sometimes are really good at participating in someone like that, but if that vibe changes.
I'm having a hard time hearing you, so.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
I know.
part of where I'm trying to piece this
I
together.
too, sorry. I was saying, I think it'd be interesting, like, thank you for those increased opportunities. I think it'd be interesting if in later reports, if that's still, if you feel like that connection being represented for the student body is improved, if you feel like there is more of a presence in general, or more of a connect. So with those opportunities that would be available.
Great, yeah, I'll definitely try to incorporate that.
Superintendent's report.
So we have quite a few things in here, that are speaking to instruction, at the close of this year, the first half of this year, we have, a report from Elm Drive specifically. We got a lot of details about what we are doing both academically and social emotionally with our, working on social emotional skills through ruler lessons and a variety of reading lessons. In P2, focused on everything from fairy tales to attacking unfamiliar words, studying nonfiction texts and text features. So the P2 continuum, what they are learning is varied, but they are very, very busy in their reading. And in writing, they're working on personal narratives, small moments within their first published pieces. So one of the things that's really exciting and like a workshop model is that the kiddos will prepare a writing piece and they will go through the editing process. And then they will actually have what's called a publishing party where they publish their piece of writing. So they focus on one particular type of writing for a period of time. And in order to show growth over time, they do what's known as an on-demand piece in the beginning of the unit. So if they're working on something like a personal narrative or how-to writing, which is not one of the other topics that one of the grade levels is working on, they will do one kind of cold just to see how much students are able to do on their own. And then there's instruction provided over a period of time. And then they do another on-demand piece at the end so that kiddos are able to see growth throughout the unit. And the way in which the architecture of a unit or a lesson works is that the teacher looks through those on-demand pieces at the beginning and sees where there's common themes where students are struggling, and then they tailor instruction for that. And then for each lesson, what they'll do is they'll notice patterns within the classroom, and they will have conferencing opportunities for each student throughout the writing period. So that's going on in writing, and in math, our students are learning their shapes, how to identify, construct, and manipulate shapes, and also working on adding and subtracting up to team members depending on the grade level that they're in. Our pre-K students are showing so much growth in their play-based centers and are connected to the content areas, and our K students are learning seasonal lessons on blizzards and snowstorms. They also created their own snow globes, and very tragically, the other day, their gingerbreads went missing. So this has been a mystery that they've been trying to solve throughout. It's very serious business. I do believe they have located our missing gingerbreads, but
I would like to go on record that I did not touch the
you did
gingerbread.
not steal the gingerbread then?
I would.
In first grade, they're studying about learning families, family trees, and different family celebrations, and second graders are learning about matter in the subject of science. So it's a lot of varied learning opportunities. One thing that I will say that we're really excited about, it was supposed to happen on, don't remember the date, but there was a delay for us, so we
Oh.
didn't, but we're going to have a group of folks from Marlboro School District are coming to observe our pre-K classroom. Because as I've told you before, our pre-K has a reputation for being really excellent. And so we're excited to have them come join us and see all the great work that's happening with our littlest learners. It's so incredibly impressive when you see what these little babies are doing in our classroom. Hard to believe that they can be so student-like, and, you know, some of them enter literally at 3 years old. Right? And so it's really impressive what they're able to do and the routines that they're able to learn and fall into. We had a fall advisory council meeting that took place, and the counselors shared their goals with a focus on supporting grades 3 through 5. And there's efforts underway to better share counseling resources with our district families. Kudos to Mr. Carbone and Dr. Watkins for bringing Sky Schools here to the middle school as a pilot. It's a wellness program that focuses on breath and sort of self-control and regulation. And so it's been a really great experience. I will say that the presenter who came, a very nice gentleman, I spent probably an hour in my office speaking to him about the benefits of this program and looking for ways to expand the program to the other buildings. As a pilot, it was great. He remarked several times on how amazing our kids are. So I feel like that is something that the community should know, right? These folks who visit all of these other schools, they come here, and, you know, that is the one thing that we hear all the time is how great our kids are, how well behaved they are, how respectful they are. And it's one of those things that in middle school can feel kind of silly to do around your peers, but he was so impressed at how engaged all of our students were and how they took it so seriously and really engaged in it, but also felt the benefits of the practice and the breathing. So it was really nice to get that feedback. Financial literacy had a guest speaker from Small World Wealth Management that talked to them about financial planning. So we were very happy to welcome them. And the Interact Club participated in a service learning field trip with Habitat for Humanity of Dutchess County. We had students volunteer at the Habitat store and decorate holiday Christmas trees for auction. The high school also had their winter concert and art showcase. At this point, we've had all of our winter concerts, so congratulations to all of our students who participated in those concerts. We had a spirit week, as Kimura said, that concluded with the winter pep rally. So that was exciting for our students. And then we have this continued focus on emotional regulation throughout each of our buildings. And we're doing that in different ways. As I said, the Sky Schools initiative was brought here. We are looking at different ways to expand that into Alden and the high school. But all of our ruler lessons are also focused on similar self-regulation. Something I'm particularly excited about is Dr. Watkins and I had a conversation about the Blue Ribbon School for Excellence, and we decided that we deserve that recognition. So We started with the middle school because they already have the recognition as a school to watch, and so much of the work is already completed in a format that was able to be translated into an application pretty quickly. So we started there, and we are working with the other buildings to prepare applications for them as well. So we are looking to get all of our schools recognized as National Blue Ribbon Schools of Excellence. So we will be working on that on an ongoing basis. So how this process works, there's an application process, there will be a school visitation, which I believe is February 20th, sometime in the 20th. We'll get feedback. It's not atypical for these programs that the first time they visit, they say, we'd like to see more of this. Could you show us more of that kind of thing? And maybe we provide them evidence, or they come back at a different date to kind of check back in. But those things are all underway. We're really excited. And thank you to Dr. Watkins for her ongoing participation with the Millbrook Listens groups from the community. We will also have our first annual Spirit of Millbrook Award to honor community members. And I don't know how the date dropped off there, January 31st. I have it down below. Sorry about that. And Kelly Thomas will be recognized for her public service. So we've had strong family engagement across programs and events. We're really excited about that. And this is something that I will speak about a little bit here, but then if you want further details, it's going to have to be an executive session topic because it has to do with safety and security. But Elliot and I are working with Day Automation on a proposal for using our Smart School Bond Act money to upgrade some safety and security measures throughout the district. Our camera system and door access funding will come again through that Smart Schools Bond Act. It's roughly $315,000 of work with no impact on taxpayers. And we're deep in the design phase, and we will need to work with our architects, but there will be no delay to our capital project. We do check in with them. And they said, nope, it's actually a good time to do it. We can kind of do it concurrently since they're already in the buildings and very familiar with everything going on. So we're working on that. And then today there was an alumni forum for the high school students where our high school alumni come back and they explain to our students what life after high school is like. So that took place today, and we will have midterm exams and January regents during the week of January 20th. So I also have one exciting announcement. We have no findings for the June 30th, 2025 single audit of the school lunch fund and the ARP grant. So you might remember that ARP grant was a 3-year grant. That was the COVID American Rescue Plan. That was so many purchases over such a long period of time. We had to close out books, reopen them, transfer year to year. And there were no findings, no errors. So kudos to everyone who is involved in both the school lunch fund and also the management of that federal grant. And I will say that that was a grant that was started with Laura, my predecessor. And then by the time the funds came through, I managed it with Ashley in the business office. And thank God for Ashley, because she is so incredibly meticulous that she keeps everything so easy when it comes time for reporting. But that was a very heavy lift with that grant. So it's actually a really big deal that there were no findings whatsoever. So congratulations to the business office staff. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to take them now. At next board meeting, just so you know, we're going to be giving you an overview of some things we are exploring to both bring in revenue to the district and also maximize space utilization. So Perry, Chris, and I had spoken when we did the agenda, and we decided that it would be a good presentation. So it'll be a brief presentation, but it'll be a good presentation, sort of a year in review, ending the 2025 calendar year, and then looking forward to things that we'll be working on to help support what is going to be a very difficult budget season. But we're working on. We have ideas and we're putting things in motion. So hopefully that will be helpful.
Good.
Any questions?
I just wanted to comment. I attended the Sky Schools. And it really was, I mean, how many people were there? At least
26.
20, right, 20, I was thinking 20 to 30. And anywhere from, parents, there might have been a grandparent there, high school, middle, so even middle schoolers who have been learning these techniques for 3 weeks still
And they stuck.
returned, right? And thank you, Caroline, for sharing with the presenter. Is it Bill? Bill said about the students, because he also mentioned that this night, that night, that this. Our district is very unique. He just found it to be so overwhelmingly positive, so. That was wonderful to hear. I think we know that, but it's great for the community to hear that too. And that was made possible through the grants, correct? So, right, that didn't come out of any of our general budget. Is there? I'm just thinking out of the box here for future events when. If there's a presenter or a group here for a number of days, I know it was focused on middle school as a pilot program. But could there be an opportunity for both high school and middle to join together, or do we need to keep those students?
Well, we don't need to keep
Separate.
them separate, but it has to do with the type of program and
Right.
how they do the implementation. So when we talk about those things, but
Yeah.
this was the model that they chose essentially.
It really followed Mr. Carbone's schedule
Yeah.
because they were embedded in that, so
Right.
trying to make the most use of the time that they were here. And capture all of the middle school students, because that was what we were contracted to work with, were the middle
Right.
school students, so that we could try it in one building, pilot it, and try to carry it forward before we spread out into other buildings.
Mhm.
So trying not to dilute that message, but
Okay,
really focusing the intent was on the middle school for this.
okay, that's,
And they were working like almost every period.
They were super. busy.
They were working.
But
with
when we're
students,
dealing with
staff.
like these contracted vendors, they have
yeah,
a way of doing it, so,
Right.
I mean, we did have staff that went in
Yes.
and visited the
Mhm.
session so
Yeah.
that they could see how it could be applicable. But in terms of other students, that just wasn't available.
Yeah. I didn't know if we were ever able to combine, like, if there's a fifth period PE going on at middle and high, could those students come together at that one?
Right, I
time?
think to make like
It
numbers
would be-
manageable and also like the fee structure
Yeah.
and whatnot, this is how it had to be. But that's why we are excited to look for opportunities to spread it to the other buildings, since we see the value in it, and I think the kids do too.
Yeah.
We got a lot of positive feedback
Oh,
from
it
it,
was
so,
wonderful. Yeah.
yeah, so we are looking for that.
Thank you.
And staff has had multiple trainings as well, like in group, during faculty and department meetings, so they've been able to become familiar. They're not trained in all the ways, but they've been able to become familiar with some of the techniques.
Wonderful, thank you.
But just to reinforce what Chris said, I mean, look at that group of kids that
Right.
were here tonight. And, I mean, becoming a student athlete, I mean, incredibly difficult to focus on sports and focus on grades and balance that. And every time, I can't think of one time in 9 years that I've ever heard like, oh, you know, your students were at such and such school and bad attitudes. And I mean, every representative of other districts have always said what a good sportsmen we are, what good behavior, what professional attitude. And it seems like we hear that all the time, and we almost, like, you start taking it for
Yeah.
granted. But, it really is great, like, when you hear, oh, yeah, the Milford kids were here, and they were just, like, wonderful, and, you know, it's amazing. One question, the classes that we teach, you know, the adult or the adult.
Continuing education.
Do we have any students teaching those? Or have we ever asked, like, if,
So we have sent out for a proposal, so anyone is welcome to submit a proposal that we would talk through. There are like insurance guidelines
Yeah.
of the individuals unless they're volunteering their time. So we've worked with, right now, it's all been adults, but no, students could. We would just have to talk through if they're doing it as a volunteer, otherwise they would have to have insurance.
okay. And I mean, you go to the concerts and you watch how
amazing our
It is.
kids are
It is.
on musical instruments and, you know, no one knows the internet better than our students do.
Mhm.
And you think about all the things that they could bring a fresh perspective to. Just it's something to think about.
Mhm.
I know it's, you know, it's yet another thing that they have to do at night and
Mm.
all that. And,
Mhm.
but if there's a chance for it to show off a little bit, it would
It would
be
be
great.
great.
Okay. Anything else?
I had a question, maybe for Dr. Watson, just about the Millbrook listens, if you could share a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So Millbrook Listens is, I'm a part of it because I'm a member of the school district. The way the school district got involved, that they sought out a recommendation letter from the school if they took on this project in order to get grant money. So it involves the town of Washington and the village of Millbrook, and they're seeking opportunities to gather feedback from the community on things that the community would like to use the grant money for to improve the area. So whether it's new sidewalks or a different routing of transportation or recycling or composting, things that are happening. So it does have an environmental lens, but it doesn't necessarily have to be environmental. They did talk about like programming at the library, things like that. But so they've had several listening events when the farmers market was open. They did try to do something, they were going to do something at the parade, but it didn't seem like there was gonna be the right time to gather people's interest. They will have information out at the New Year's Eve Millbrook celebration. They'll have a table out there. They have for the first year selected the five tiers for the Spirit Award, as you heard about. So there's more information in the newsletter specifically, but basically it's a grant funded position through the town of Washington and the village. They are trying to get student support. I've talked about it in my report before. So initially, the way the grant was funded, that if the zip code wasn't the town of Washington or the village, you could not vote, but they have actually, based on student feedback, once again, students' voice, they were able to amend that with the committee. So now even like Unionville residents, who attend, as long as they are students within the district, their parents, have their children go there, they could vote as well as to which project. So they're going to be narrowing down the project and doing the voting in the spring.
And
No, you go.
I just wanted to comment to Caroline that it seems like, I hope it doesn't get minimalized, because you're like, so many things are on your report, it's like a checklist you're reading through, but there's actually so much content and responsibility and so much positivity that I just wanted to say thank you for that, because sometimes when you go through it and you don't have so much attention on everything, but there's so much on there that's great.
Yeah, and I appreciate that very much, and there's so much more that we can talk about. We try to manage, like, keeping a report focused on the students, right? Because that's why we're all here, but I think to highlight so many of the things that our staff have been doing as well. You know, we try to put it out in like the Millbrook Minute and in our weekly mailings and stuff, but I try to keep these reports as focused on student-centered things, because that's why we're all here.
Can I ask Kamora a question related to the high school, the alumni returning? Was that I'm assuming you attended
Yes, I,
that? Okay, was that for seniors? Was that
yes,
focused on? Okay.
those recipients.
Was there anything from their presentation that you felt, I mean, as representing the seniors, that you felt was surprising, or, oh, I need to do that before I go, before I go to college, right? Or anything, a need that you feel maybe the students, is there a student need that was mentioned from the alumni? Or did the alumni feel, did it appear as if, okay, the alumni went off to college and our district prepared them well for everything?
I think that, from talking from the alumni obviously today, that everything went pretty much well. I think one of the things that resonated, at least with like myself and some of my peers, was that you're not gonna have everything quite figured out yet. And like, that is completely fine, and just knowing somewhat, as long as you have a plan, that your plan won't be to fail. And that you're gonna make a lot of mistakes along the way, but you're still gonna have your parents, you're gonna have some of your peers around you to help guide it. I think that was really nice, especially if you hear from the older alumni, because obviously some of the alumni that were there graduated last year, so he has somewhat of an understanding, but talking to some of the alumni who've been graduated college and are now part of the workforce was really nice to hear.
Thank you.
All right, let's, next we actually have to approve the, district safety plan. Do we just need a motion? Do I have a motion to approve the, plan that was reviewed earlier? Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Questions? All in favor? Any against? And then we did the first reading at the last meeting, right?
Yeah, it just seems so long ago.
Yeah.
We only had one meeting this month.
Well, the board members have been pushing to have a meeting every week. And I should say, no, I don't think they want to do that, but. Do I have a motion to adopt? Well, be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby approves Board of Education Policy 5251, student fundraising activities as presented. Do I have that motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Questions? Comments?
On page 2, in the third line, it just says like will be kept to an absolute minimum, and I just thought that was so vague. And it also says elementary students are not permitted to solicit funds. I can't think of anything that comes home these days like for that, but I think on page 1, it does say that the board works with outside organizations and missing like sports boosters and whatnot to raise funds. So I was just thinking, for example, like PTO does Gertrude Hawk, and they're not necessarily telling kids go door to door, but it is like that format of like who wants to order from this form, so.
Yeah, so for liability purposes, we're probably going to want to say that we can't support elementary students going door to door. How their parents want to manage who they are able to sell their Gertrude Hawk to is for their parents to manage, but the district can't support that.
I think like back in the day, it was, I remember being told like you go door to door.
Very different
for them. Yeah, so that would then, I don't know if we wanna just keep like absolute minimum just or put like a standard there, or that hasn't been an issue in the past, or.
Can you say, I'm being aware that.
Page 2, the third line down, the first 2 words. It says fundraising projects on which students canvas
I don't think
the
that's
the public off-school grounds in person in connection with school events and school connected fundraising activities will be kept to an absolute minimum.
So Canvas is spelled right.
Thank you, because that was like wrong.
That
I didn't.
is Canvas spelled right.
Okay, thank you.
Canvas to solicit
It's
is that,
it's that.
Canvas, the
It's-
material
Yeah.
is for.
Thank you, everyone.
So we have policy committee members here.
I hear the point. I think absolute minimum is a bit ambiguous, but overall, I don't see a major issue. I would wonder at the elementary level, if when we send like the group short fall things home, we should send guidance to parents. Actually say this is not intended. I don't know,
Just Right.
I don't know if it's our communication aligning with the policy or making the policy more clear.
Right, and so that comes from the PTO, so the district actually doesn't
Okay.
cover.
But I want to say to this point, the envelopes go out through the classrooms.
They do, and they get emailed often by the.
Yeah,
Yeah. So if we're part of communicating, it would probably make sense to have something to align.
They get emailed by
the school secretary.
So I think that's a greater conversation we're going to need to have.
Right.
Because we actually can't participate in any fundraising.
I think it's more of a community sport, because they do it with other things too, where it's just like, here's a flyer shared from someone, so there's no context behind it, sure.
And it usually
Right.
like not affiliated with the district.
Yeah,
Right.
and so there's more to do with that, so we can have a discussion about it. But the question right now is whether this policy supports what we want to do.
Right.
What we're talking about here is not the approval of the policy, but this is the application of the policy, and I think we need to have two different discussions about that.
So the question with the policy is that statement of absolute minimum. Is that,
To an
Is
absolute
that-
minimum.
I hate putting in like
I
zero.
know.
And then, God forbid, we need one, you know, but, or then do you say, well, you know, it's two is the minimum. And then somebody says, well, we only use one, let's do two, you know,
Well, it's almost-
I personally, I like it better to sort of say, do your best not to do it. But then the second piece is that if we're not following the policy, that's another discussion.
For the absolute minimum, is it, the fundraising project have to be pre-approved by? Because then it can be
If they're
like,
affiliated with the school district, yes. But anything that happens on school grounds needs to be approved, yes. And then anything that's happening in terms of fundraising projects off school grounds, this is what would be guiding that. And so fundraising projects in which students canvass the public off school grounds is what will be kept in person, right? So I would say like standing outside of a store, trying to sell something, engaging with the public, like taking Gertrude Hawk to my neighbor's house doesn't sound the same as what this means.
Mhm. So
That is what we are saying to be kept to a minimum is the engagement with the public,
That's
right? And I
right.
think it goes back to the same liability and we're saying that for all of our students, we don't want fundraising to happen that way, right? Because that's something that could potentially put them in harm's way. And for elementary students, they should not be doing that at all.
maybe instead of like, will be kept to an absolute minimum, like, will be at the discretion of the parent or something like that?
But I don't know if a school district policy can speak to what a parent's gonna do.
right. It's almost as if. It's not really about the dollar, it's about.
No, it's not about the dollar
Right,
amount.
it's about
about the
the.
concept of canvassing the public.
Exactly, that should be kept to a minimum.
Right.
Right,
It's not about how much money, I mean, you can raise all the money you want,
Yep.
we just don't want your kids out there.
Yep.
Interfacing with the public in a way that is not supervisor sanctioned kind of thing.
I think it does happen to some small degree now, but the only case I can think of is maybe Level Community Day. It's like one of the sports students has a table or something.
And I would say that's supervised, right?
right.
So I mean, I feel better about that than kids
Absolutely.
interfacing anyway.
But do we do better if we say will not be, you know, basically zero unless not reviewed and approved by,
Or is it something we wanna take back to the policy committee and discuss it with them?
I mean, you could say zero, but what if the parents decide they want to go down the road and sell it? I mean, from a district standpoint, an absolute minimum is pretty much zero. You know, maybe there's some exceptions, but maybe they're supervised. So if they are supervised, you know, that's the absolute minimum. Doesn't really mention supervision. or anything else.
Will be, should be kept to an absolute minimum. For safety purposes.
You take that whole sentence out and then because it doesn't really have a value anyways, and then just keep elementary students are not permitted.
Well, that has value because it protects the district.
Right.
We're not condoning that they go door to door.
Yeah, I
But
think
I
it,
think they can.
And it sort of sets up the prohibition of the elementary students not being to.
Mhm.
Take it back to the committee. and kick it
yeah, I
out.
think that's.
Yeah, well-
It's fine.
We have a meeting this month, so.
Mhm.
Okay, so we'll table that discussion. So, or the motion. So you come back after the new year. Okay. All right.
Financial.
Financials and warrants. The motion to adopt. Good, second.
I'll second.
Questions, comments? Concerns? All in favor? Any against? All right, budget adjustment,
So this is actually really an exciting, good, positive thing that we're going to be talking about, at the next meeting more in depth. You may remember that there was, a meeting with Mid Hudson School Studies Council. We became informed of an opportunity to work with, Mount St. Mary's to expand our dual enrollment offerings. Amy and I had a discussion about that. We started having conversation with Mount St. Mary's. While we were setting up those courses with Mount St. Mary's and Marist, basically all of the schools that we are already offering courses through. We became aware of a COSER, early college access COSER, which runs through BOCES. One of the beautiful things about running this through BOCES, it allows us to get state aid on, expenditures that we ordinarily would not be getting any BOCES aid on, right? So we would just be paying the full dollar amounts out of the district code, and I'm talking about things like salaries for the teachers who teach those courses. So though it was very, very late in the summer, there was a lot of work that was done to make this happen. And so because of that, we are able to bill through BOCES, I think it's close to $800,000 to then get BOCES aid back next year. So one of the things that we have to do, when we spoke to the auditors, for public transparency, we have to adjust both the expenditure and revenue side of our budget. So there is no change to taxpayers, there is no change to the tax levy. It's just the change to both sides of the budget in which the money is being expended and then run through BOCES so that we will then be able to have the aid reflected in a return. But this is like a pretty awesome thing that we're able to do. And so we can talk a little bit about the actual, what it all fleshes out to be in the end. But as we saw the very grim first runs from the state budget, we were like, thank God we didn't wait a year because we'll be getting some of this aid back predictably, which will offset some of the damage that is being done by these cuts that are happening, federal, state, everywhere. All of our aids are being cut again. So thank God for this, right? As late as it was in the season and as confusing as it was to get it all rolled out. Really kudos to the fact that we did, because this is gonna be a huge, a game changer, not just this year, but in the future as well.
so, do I have the motion to approve this? Go second, questions? And now's the time to get details if there's something you're not clear on. All in favor?
Aye.
Any again? Very good. All right, the motion to accept the donation of $1,200 from the Millbrook Education Foundation, Educational Foundation. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
A second.
Questions, comments?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. All in favor?
Aye.
Any against? All right, next is the first reading of policy 1500 for the public use of facilities. Do I have a motion to approve or to adopt, I should say?
So much.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Question, or did you want to start with anything?
If anyone has a question, it's just a modification to the very last line of the policy that explains the board at its discretion can enter into an agreement with, an organization that is essentially other than this, so long as there's no extra cost to the district. So you remember, there was a fee structure that was created. And so the board can actually enter into an agreement that is different than the fee structure. So long as there's no extra cost incurred by the district for the use of the facilities. So that's just the one sentence highlighted on the bottom, or one paragraph highlighted on the bottom.
It's just the language, just that is, and then on the second line, the for the use of the facility, so I think that just needs to be regarding the use of the facility.
It says
It's discretion.
all right, so given those changes,
Right, that's just.
grammatical, yeah.
Yeah.
I think when they changed it the second time,
Yeah.
they left that,
Okay.
the use of facilities. Thank you.
Anything else? So do I have a motion to adopt with those changes?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any against? The next one is a motion to approve. I think this was for the past.
Yes.
Anyway, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Question? All in favor?
Aye.
Any against? All right, public comment question period.
There's nothing.
No. Okay. All right. Enrollment report is there for your knowledge. Any questions on that? Future agenda, I should do, no. So, we'll probably go to executive session. For anybody that's online, if there is, it doesn't mean that the meeting is over when we go to executive session. We have, discussion related to personnel. But if there's an action to be taken when we return, we'll take that action in public session. So, anyway, do I have a motion to go to executive session? Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any against? 5 minutes, anybody? A second. Second. All in favor? All right. Hang on a minute, we'll do the. And there are.
Yeah, if you refresh, it'll be in potential after it's like actual locations.
Good. Do I have a motion to accept the letter of resignation from Zach Levine? Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Does it need to be attached at some point?
The letter? Okay. Yes, we can. We need to, attach the letter.
Yeah, I will. I just didn't, yeah.
We need to do that before we.
No, I'll add it, after. I just had to do it after.
All right, do I have a motion to appoint, elementary teacher,
Natalia Guzman.
Guzman Batista? Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Question? Comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any against? And do I have a motion to adjourn?
So,
Do I have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any against? All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
thank you.